My name is Chris Jankulovski. I'm an author of a book titled Near-Death Lessons, A Dream, a Terminal Illness, and Extraordinary Life Gained from 8 Near-Death Experiences. And I'm also a businessman. I've somehow managed to successfully run a business and start always these other businesses. So I'm also the founder of Remote Staff, which is an offshore staffing agency that has employed thousands of people. And I'm now living between LA and Sydney, so Australia. So that's me. Pretty rare to get second chances in your life, let alone to have 8 of them. I get it. I mean, that's crazy. And so a lot of people find it hard to believe that somebody can survive 8 near-death experiences. And yes, you can over a long extended period of time. So I'm now 50 years old. Some of these experiences were very brutal and difficult to bounce back from. Like I was spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally shattered. And others were transformative and a wake-up kind of thing. And others, well, we just casually mucked around with my friends about, oh, I almost died, I almost drowned. So I've had a lot of experiences around. Every one of them were very different. So the first one started for me at the age of 7. I had an appendix burst in my stomach. I was in hospital for 2 weeks. And I remember vividly, even though I was 7, that when it burst, I had this feeling of free falling, like falling for a while in my dream. And then I got caught by a faceless nude mannequin in a cradle position. And I remember and I looked at this mannequin looking at me, and I'm a kid, and I just screamed. And so that's one of the most vivid dreams I've ever remembered in my life, and I still remember to this day. So that was my first unbelievable experience, which almost killed me. At the hospital, the doctors said I was lucky to be alive. Then it was at 21. I was with some friends. We were body surfing, and I got caught in a rip. I was out really far, and I didn't notice it. And I'm just swimming and wondering, where are all the waves? And I look behind me, and oh, wow, the big waves are all the way down there. So I tried to swim back to shore, then got crashed into waves, and then another wave, then got caught in this rip, and I couldn't get out. And I popped my head up, and I got slammed. Popped my head up and got slammed. I then was in water, deep, rolling around, and I just inhaled. I full on inhaled water underneath. I just swallowed water, and I just felt this sense of calm. It was very peaceful, full thing. I was 21 and my life flashed before me. So there I am, 21, and all these important moments of my life flashed before me. Relationships, all the way down till I was like a toddler. And then somehow my head was out again, and I could hear all these flashings and water and everything and noise. And I had my eyes closed, and I was just swimming in any which direction. I was just trying to get out of this tumbleweed of waves. And unknowing to me, I managed to swim out of the wave sideways before I could get myself out of the rip, I should say, before I could get myself aware of like what's going on. Then I got back to shore. That was an incredible experience. The 2 experiences, as Sofa explained, haven't been transformative. They were just, experiences. And then at 25, I've had a lot of eye operations. And then at the age of 25, I woke up in a surgery, an eye operation surgery. I woke up in a surgery where literally I heard the radio, I heard the surgeons talking, and my jaws clamp, and I can feel this needle in my eye sliding like an egg, and pop. They went in there. I'm like, I couldn't say anything. I was just screaming. And so they must have overdosed me with morphine. They realized I woke up in the surgery. And when I got out of that surgery and I was in my ICU ward, I remembered flatlining. And I had the little thing on my finger. I couldn't turn my head anymore. I was just looking down. I could see my finger. I could see that the thing was on my finger, but I'm flatlining. And I don't understand what was going on with the machine. I thought the machine was probably broken. And then I'm just standing there, still conscious. And I'm just wondering, like, what's going on here? But I couldn't move. That was one thing that was strange. And then everything went white. And it was very peaceful. There wasn't a tunnel. It was just all white. And then this white was kind of disappearing on me. And then I woke up. And when I woke up, I had all these nurses and everyone just sort of shaking me, telling me to breathe and all this kind of stuff. So that was at the age of 25. I do remember saying something in that moment, though. I remember saying, like, hey, hang on a minute, where am I? I felt a different time dimension. And I remember saying, like, hang on a minute, I'm not going anywhere. It's my sister's wedding soon. And I just snapped back straight into my body. That was a fascinating experience, but didn't transform me. Then the one that transformed me was at 32. So I got diagnosed with a rare hereditary condition. I was told at the age of 19 that I'm going to be dead by 30. That was the average life expectancy. It was a brutal diagnosis. They just said, all right, you got this hereditary condition. It's called von Hippel-Lindau syndrome. You're going to form tumors and cysts in all your major organs. You may have tumors and cancers in your body right now. We don't know much about this condition, Chris. All the best. See you later. I was given no support. I was given no information. I just cried in my car. It's just like, how did I know I'm going to be dead by 30? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean I'm going to form tumors? Anyway, that experience at 19 finally caught up with me at 20 in 2005 when I was 32. And when that moment finally caught up with me, it happened in the form of a brain tumor. It was a massive 5-centimeter tumor that almost burst in my head. They wanted me to scan my body every year, which now I do, and do all these MRIs and CAT scans and blood tests. And there's a way you got to manage this condition, and I didn't manage it at all. At the age of 19, I completely ignored it until I had that brain operation. When I had that brain tumor diagnosis, I remember walking out to the sky and looking at the sky and just saying, God, kill me, but I've had enough. I've had enough of living this empowered life. I've had enough of living as a victim of my hereditary condition, a victim of life circumstances all the time. This is not a way to live. This is ridiculous. I don't want to live like this. Whatever happens after this brain operation, whether I can touch my nose, move my hands, be in a wheelchair, whatever, I choose life. I'm not living like that anymore. I'm going to just embrace living. I want to embrace life. And that was a momentous moment in my life because so I got diagnosed on Tuesday, and on Thursday the following week I had the operation. It all went smooth. The tumor pot came out very easily. And that was a transformative moment because I'm in the hospital and I'm looking at the sky. I'm in the bed looking at the window, just can't move. And I'm just realizing, wow, how insignificant am I compared to the rest of the world? Like, I mean, the birds still fly outside, people are still running around doing their things. The rivers are flowing. I realized my insignificance in the grand scheme of things. Before that moment, I used to think I was God knows who, that all of a sudden my life was the most important thing in this universe. And that moment definitely busted the bubble. And I realized, okay, I had a new sense of appreciation in all life. And I woke up to my mortality and I realized, wow, okay, I've dodged a bullet. I have a second chance at life here. The realization of if I don't start living my life now, when will I ever get a chance to? That was the moment when that happened. So before that moment, I was always a struggling entrepreneur. After that moment, I started, after I took a year off to heal, whatever I touched turned into gold. Like it was just transformative. Business, or whatever I set out to do, I took it on. I went head on, took it on. I was amazed by how much we limit ourselves in life before we even begin. What a transformation. A lot of the doctors and stuff kept on telling me in the hospital, like, Chris, wow, we've never seen. Well, occasionally we see somebody get this kind of remarkable transformation after surgery, but yours is unbelievable. So during the operating room, after the operation, while in my hospital room, they wheeled me in an MRI machine to get the rest of my body scanned because they know this tumor happened because of my hereditary condition, a condition I completely ignored. So they thought they better just check me just to see if anything else is happening. And yes, they found my 2 kidneys were riddled with cancer. My right kidney had 95% cancer. My left kidney had 4 large, massive cancers on it. And they said, all right, Chris, we have to now go back in the operating room to remove your right kidney immediately. You've got tumors there that are like 5 centimeters. Others are 4 heaps. They're really aggressive cancers. They're way past your safety zone. Your life is at risk. And I said, hey, we're not doing anything yet. You haven't even taken the stitches out of my head yet. No, I need to heal from this. Maybe give me a couple of months and you can remove my right kidney. Fine, I'm a dead man anyway. So what's the rush? I've had this all 10 years. What's the rush in taking it out right away? I was very blasé. I dodged this bullet. Let me just appreciate the life, whatever life I have. That's how I just approached it. And then 2 months later, so that operation was in June 2005, tumor out. And then in October-ish, I removed the kidney. I just said, look, I'm taking a year off. We'll address the remaining left kidney at a future date. So without dragging on this story, that was the one that transformed me the most, one of them. The right kidney was another near-death experience I call because it was cancer in my body, aggressive, that didn't kill me. That was 5. Now we're up to the 6th one, which is my left kidney. It was a year later. I removed those tumors in my left kidney. I then was living with 75% of one kidney. And that moment was fascinating because that too was transformative, because I had to bargain for my life because I didn't know how much more longer I'm going to live on my original kidney. Late 2007, I had the operation to remove the left kidney tumors in 2008. The meeting with the surgeon late 2007, we were discussing the operation, the procedures, and he was saying to me, like, okay, I'm going to cut you in half. I'm going to have your kidney in my hand. I'm going to remove the tumors so we can try to save and preserve as much as your original kidney. We don't know how long you're going to have with your original kidney. You might have a year or 2. You might have 10 years. Who knows? It depends on your tumors. Depends on this operation. Depends on how your kidney performs after the operation. And I said to the guy, hey, I want another 10 years of life with my original kidney. And I felt this quest to bargain for my life. In order for me to bargain for my life, I had to bargain for my life in response by doing something noble in return. And I thought, hey, if you get me 10 more years of my kidney, I'll employ thousands of people. And I thought that was a noble pledge that I can make, because I had this seed in my head about, since I was traveling around the world, took a year off, I fell in love with the Filipino culture, family values, and the people. I thought, wouldn't it be amazing if I could employ some of them, mostly for me, to do my entrepreneurial work back in Australia? And that was the seed that was in my mind. And so I kind of used it to bargain and make a pledge. And that was the starting block of my business called Remote Staff. Since then, since making that pledge, I did get my 10 years. And I did also live up to my pledge. I employed 8,000 people. What an experience. So life is amazing. I'm building a real estate portal on top of Remote Staff, and I'm doing all these other things. I'm just running 1,000,000 miles an hour. Like, I recognize the scarcity of our mortality, of my mortality, to our time. And I just wanted to optimize everything I do. I was full speed. Can you believe this? I never was in any one country for more than 3 weeks for over a decade. Like, it was nuts. I was just going crazy. I was employing people, doing so many things. And then 2 brain tumors grew smack in the middle of my head. So the hereditary condition came back and got me with 2 more tumors. And this time, my wife suggested I meet this surgeon who is more of a fancy surgeon. I had a meeting with him. He made it out like as if it's going to be simple. Like, yeah, we'll go in this hemisphere, get this one out. We'll go in the left hemisphere, we'll get the other one out. You'll be fine. Didn't go to plan. So what had happened was, we have the surgery. A tumor bursts the moment it touches in my right hemisphere, affecting everything on my left side. And then he still continued to get the left tumor on the left hemisphere. So he said after the operation to my wife that 60% of people die on his operating table when something like that happened. One of the lucky 40% that survived that. But that was brutal. So on that operation, I was in a coma for 5 days after the operation. And what was fascinating with that was my father passed away 4 months before I had that operation, 4 or 5 months. So my father passed away in April 20th, 2016. And I had this operation September 5th, 2016. And so I'm in this coma state. I obviously didn't know that I was in the coma state for 5 days. All I know is I was in this black void and I was consciously present, no physical form. I'm recognizing I'm at a different time dimension. I don't see anything. It's just a black void, just there, present, observing. No, I can't notice a breath in me. I can just observe myself fully alive, like this life in me, this life force, this connectedness. I can feel it all. I'm just there in this void, just present. And then I'm in this conversation with somebody about returning back to my body on my left. And then I can't see this person, but I can hear him. I can't interpret what he's saying, but I know it's a conversation about returning back to my body. And my father, who just passed away, was there. I could feel him. He was present. He's right there on my right, panicking to plea bargain with me to get back, or with him or whoever, or her. I don't know. And all I know is I was like, all right, I'll head back. And then bang, I'm back. And then I woke up to this nightmare called life again, with a half body that was destroyed, didn't work at all. It took me 8 months to learn how to walk and talk after that brain operation. What a journey. I thought the first 2 weeks I was better off dead, because this was no way to live. I was on those heavy duty walkers, and then, on all those other things. I mean, wow, I was broken. I have never been broken like that before after that operation. So anyway, amazing, isn't it, to think that I had such an experience that I can bounce back from that. To be honest, thanks to the support of my wife and a lot of other people who brought me back, because I thought I'm better off dead. As I said, the first 2 weeks, anyone I saw, I simply said to them, "It's nowhere to live. I'd rather be dead." I was basically bargaining with everyone just to go try to get some kind of pity, or I don't know what. All I know is that I was in a really bad way. I bounced back from that incredible adversity. And a year later, like literally a year later, so I'm in the pool rehabilitating, and a year later, I'm having to go back to the operating room because being bedbound for so many months, 3 months after that operation, I had tumor. I woke up at 7 a.m. I'm asleep by 2 p.m. because I had so much fatigue. I'm in bed. I'm spinning in bed, right? So I'm in this kind of hospital bed in my own room. And that experience, unfortunately, grew 6 fast-growing tumors in my remaining 75% left kidney. My doctor said, like, "Chris, your hereditary condition, your tumors grow by 4 millimeters a year. And here you are, you've got yours growing at like 8. So we need to have you operated immediately." And now here I am in the operating room a year later. I couldn't believe it. I'm in the pool. I remember going to the jacuzzi. This was a magical moment, because I remember thinking like, wow, I just went for this crazy brain operation, this 8 months of learning how to walk and talk. What a journey of rehabilitation. I thought it wasn't worth living. Now I'm back again. And I've got this terrible outlook, like doctors saying this one scenario of, well, we don't know, maybe tumors are going to grow again or spread, or grow really fast, Chris, or after this operation, maybe you're not going to have a kidney anymore, you're going to need dialysis, or maybe you're going to have a cancer battle after, we have to take it on differently, all these scenarios. And I was just there in this pool, just thinking like, wow, talk about having the universe throw God knows what my direction. It took me a while to get to this point, but I realized like no one knows the bloody future. No one knows the future. If I'm going to invest so much energy and time in believing the doctor's outlooks and playing the scenarios, why don't I put my hopes and beliefs and outlook that's much more positive? Like, why don't I dare hope in my most darkest moment in my life that perhaps the best is yet to come in my life? Because I didn't want to accept this doom and gloom. So I have the meeting with the doctor, and we discuss about robotic surgery to be faster. The less your kidney has no blood flow for like a less period of time, the better it is for it to survive. All these things. Like, yeah, let's do it. That's fine. I'll pay whatever. Just go for it. We have the operation. I'm in the ICU ward, and things aren't looking good. A dead kidney is at 600. A good kidney with 2 is about, say, 80 to 110. We say 100. And I'm at like high 500. I'm almost a dead kidney. They said they gave me a window of like 8 days to get 90% of my healing recovery. I'm in day 5, and I'm nowhere near the healing recovery that they told me. They were expecting me to land at around 350 creatinine, well, my remaining half kidney. Instead, I'm at like just short of dialysis. And I'm like at high 400 something, which is the higher, the worse. The lower, the better the number. And so I'm on day 5 in the ICU ward, and the doctor comes in. "Chris, I'm sorry. Not looking good. I thought you'd do better." That's how it goes. "You're right, mate. No. Listen, I want another 10 years of life with my original kidney, and I'll inspire millions. Okay, come on." Started writing a book after my brain operation for my sons. I'll share my story public. I'll do all these things. Come on, want another 10 years. Let's shake on it. You're a mathematician, Doc. What's the odds? Yeah, Chris is not very good. Okay, Doc, you focus on science, I'll focus on miracle. Where's the scientific best outcome? He goes, well, maybe 300 creatinine would be the best for you. I know you're at a high 400, 300 would be amazing. Okay, done. Well, you focus on science and data, I'll focus on miracles. 200 and below. He goes, well, that'll be an outstanding result. I go, done, let's shake on it. I'll inspire millions. I made another pledge. I feel like I have to always bargain for my life. And I feel like I have to be always worthy of all these multiple second chances at life. I'm always striving to make my life matter and count, to be worthy of all these second chances. Second chances are hard to come by, let alone to have as many as I have. So I recognize the blessings, and every time I'm back on this earth, I'm back here, I just feel like, okay, well, I'm back. I need to serve. I need to do something here for others. Well, for the people who live here at this time, in this period of time on this earth, not getting out of here alive. Why do we all settle for status quo? Why do we all just think like we're going to live forever? The sooner we embrace our mortality, the sooner we can live larger, the sooner we can embrace our true selves. What I realized after all these adversities is the more I embrace who I am, the more I become powerful, the more I become confident, driven, and a high energy towards whatever I do. It's amazing. And so returning back to the story of the kidney operation, and now the half kidney, the moment I made that pledge, I felt a shift in me. And my healing went from a progress of 4% a day to 15% immediately. And then my healing went past that 8-day window and continued to many months later. And today, I'm at 115. That's amazing. Everyone, my kidney doctor, my GP, everyone just says, wow, that's like you've got a high-performing half kidney, Chris. Pledge. It's the bargaining for my life. I lived up to one. I'm going to live up to another. So that was my 8th near-death experience. Surviving that, still living with my kidney, and still here to tell the story. So after the brain operation, and when I got home, remember, I'm in bed 3 months. I'm bed down. I mean, I'm spinning in my own bed, like a hospital bed we rented. And so I said to myself, because, I was up at 7, I was out fatigued by 2 p.m. And I said to myself, like, how the hell am I going to get through 10 minutes, let alone the day? I was suffering in a bad way. And I said to myself, like, the moment I can sit on a chair, like getting out of bed took 3 weeks of rehabilitation, 3 weeks to get out of bed. Can you imagine? And to sit on a chair for more than 10 minutes knocked me out. I had to go back to bed. Like if you've got a dead person and you try to get them to sit on a chair, they're going to flop down unless they're stiff. I was struggling to keep myself upright. Who the hell would have thought that sitting on a chair is an incredibly difficult thing to do? And so I said to myself, the moment I can sit on a chair for 10 minutes, I'll start writing a book for my sons. I want their sons to know who I am, because I had my operation 1 month before the birth of my second son, Billy. So my other son was 6 at the time. He's now 12, and the other one is now 6. So my first son is Jay, second son is Billy. So I wanted my sons to know who their father was. I don't know how long I've got to live. I've overcome this crazy adversity. I started writing my story. I can't type, by the way, because all my left side doesn't work. My face and everything didn't work. I hired an assistant. I'm in the staffing business. I just said to her, I'm just going to rant. Sorry, I can't communicate properly. I've got a speech impairment. I can't say certain words. I can't even talk properly. Half my lung didn't work, so I couldn't even talk loudly. So I just shared stories. And we didn't know what we were doing. I was just ranting, sharing stories. And then my assistant was transcribing them, cleaning them up, and putting them in a chronicle order. And then we gave it to a ghostwriter. We were just looking for somebody to work with, professional, because I'm not a real professional writer. I'm a dyslexic learner as well. And so we finally found a ghostwriter who actually, like everyone was responding to all these other ghostwriters were responding in a very businessy way. And then this one lady, she was like, oh, like she just saw gold nuggets everywhere. She just was blown away by my story. And she was awesome to work with. She was like the director of my story. She basically helped put that chronicle order in the right order for the interests of the readers, with the readers in mind. And then I spent months filling it with the right details. And then we gave it to an editor who then shot it down. Talk about an ego blow. I had it shot down. I got so offended. It took me 3 days to recover from her feedback. And then when I finally settled down on the emotion, I looked at her feedback and I said, wow, that's brilliant. That took me 9 months or a year to apply all her suggestions. And then I went through a journey. I went through a journey of 6 years of writing the manuscript, because I wanted to be a high standard to be able to inspire that many people. And I wanted to really impart Like, who gets a chance to go through all the stuff that I've had to go through and be here to tell the story? And I wanted to make sure that the story is told at the most highest standard. And then when that kidney operation happened, and again, this is me telling the story to the highest standard, not initially, just for my sons was enough. And then the edit done that. It was after so I'm 1 year into writing the book when I did the bargaining to inspire millions and take my story public. That's when 5 other years went into the book. And that's when I said, I don't want to just write my story. I want to also share my lesson. I've got these incredible learnings that help me make tens and tens of millions of dollars, make a transformation, make incredible contributions to my own family and my communities and societies, whatever it is. I want to share these distinctions because I was a completely victim, disempowered individual for 13 years. And I transitioned as an empowered individual for 17 years. It's just a bloody mindset thing. It's so annoying because it's just a slight distinction. It's not much. It was so annoying. Like, on one side, I had all these doubts and insecurities. I never knew what I wanted in life. And then on this other side, I had no shortage of what I wanted to do in life. I was like a kid, like I still am. I just want to take on everything with this whole new zeal, this whole new drive, this whole new energy. It's incredible. And so I share a lot of these distinctions and lessons to help people shift and help people understand how to respond much more effectively to their own setbacks. And so my story is a story of demonstration of a person before the adversity, the victim, the adversity, the aftermath of the adversity, the transformation, and the impact of that transformation. And so it's incredible. I haven't found anyone else who's got this story. You know, these celebrities and people with sports stars or whatever who may have had this one adversity and gone through this one journey of transformation, but I've gone through 8, and of the 8, 4 were really out there. So yeah, I went through the process of hiring a resilience consultant. I said, can you just read my book and can you put a spotlight on how I respond differently to how other people respond? Because I don't know, I just do it. I want to share some lessons and distinctions, and I don't know really. And so this resilient consultant me and her spent a long time working together. She read my book 5 times. We're supposed to have 2 Zoom sessions. We had 26. And then we came up with all these distinctions. And then we went on a journey of sharing it with some professionals, and we finally settled down into 5 life lessons. And that's what the book, so it's a story with 1 page or 2 towards these hard-hitting life lessons. Lessons such as living up to your full potential, living a deliberate life every year, living as if it's your last year life every year, achieving deep satisfaction and fulfillment in your life, flourishing through adversities, and forming new thinking patterns, the neuroplasticity stuff that I learned. So that's the book. I might look healthy and normal as much as possible, even though that left hand doesn't work so well, but I am still battling for my life. These battles that I talk about, I'm ongoing. So I'm still fighting 3 cancers in my remaining half kidney. I still got 6 brain tumors. I'm still going for it, but I'm still fighting for my life, for my existence. But that's God's business. I remember I made that pledge. I've had enough of living like a victim. So I'm just focusing on life, on what I can control and what I can do while I'm here. I don't worry. I don't stress anymore. I'm not reacting anymore to adversities. Actually, it's so bad right now that I need to sometimes remind myself that, oh, you're going through a serious battle. You should respond actively now, because I don't, cancer again. I don't panic anymore. I don't have such a reaction to adversity like normal people would anymore. So did I go through all this? Sometimes you have to think, does the universe conspire to throw these adversities your way? I think the stronger you get, you got to acknowledge, you're going to get stronger. The more adversities you can bounce back from, lost millions in business, I've done all these things, fought for my life over and over. Yeah, I'm stronger. I've got incredible lessons to share. Did these things all happen? When I write the book and I have a chance to reflect on them and look back, yeah, if I didn't have that brain operation, I didn't give up on life, I wouldn't be able to relate to other people who say might be wanting to end their life or have got it in such a bad way. Like, I wouldn't have been able to relate to anyone who's been so shattered emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. But now I can. I know that dark place. So I can help a lot of people. And I also know a lot of people who are ambitious entrepreneurs. I know what that's like. I know how to get to success. I know how to sustain success. I know what this paradox of success and failure is. I know this life of ours and our existence and this paradox of our existence of we have a seed of greatness in all of us, yet we've never expressed it maybe, or we've never really gone all out for it, or there's something burning in us. I know what that feeling's like. I know a lot of these things. I also know what it's like to express it. Guys, we're not getting out of here alive. Stop pretending like you're going to live forever. Seriously, if there is this biological form, this existence that we have right here on this earth, in this form right now, there's so much data and information in our cells from generations and generations. There is, believe it or not, there is incredible power in you. The more you become you, the more powerful you are. Shocking. Embrace your individuality. Embrace you and be an authentic you. If you've got doubts and insecurities in your life, if you've got any of that, that's not natural state. The natural state is to have energy, drive, excitement, clarity in what you want. There's no shortage of what you want. So if you're doubtful in any which way, just know one thing. You're being a victim of something. You're responding like a victim to life circumstances in whatever it is in your life. You're running away from something. Because by running away from life and not taking life on is the only way you get doubtful and you get insecurities. You can't live up to your full potential in a state of insecurity and anxiety. You have to embrace your power. And your power can only happen when you really start appreciating this incredible existence of yours and how finite it is. Because the moment you do, you're going to wake up to this reality of saying, shit, I can't entertain these doubts and insecurities anymore. I better start living my life. I better start embracing all that I am, all these things that are in me that I feel that I should try to explore and do. Do them. Listen, the world ain't better off when you're dead 6 foot under, never writing that book or never making that movie or never applied yourself doing something. You know, even if you applied yourself and failed, the world is still better off. So try it, fail. So what? You ain't getting out of here alive. What do you got to lose? Why settle for the status quo? Enjoy life.